is the business,
Right.
the underground behind
Right.
the scenes
So
stuff.
to answer Jamie's question is we would be able to do that if they made it available to us. In other words, if the Golf Tee Time Company decided that they were going to open that reservation system up to other developers, we would be able to read that information. Right?
Okay. Because I know some of you guys have to leave at 1, if we could keep specific questions and come to Jeff later with them so we can get on through the
All
cool
right.
stuff. I don't want y'all to miss the cool stuff.
Demomania.
Yeah.
Alright, this is the cool stuff. I have 2 things I want to show you real quick. Alright, I have 2 things here I want to show you real quick.
Is that the official Cold Fusion guy? Or is that you?
That's the official Cold Fusion guy.
Jeff is,
It looks like him, doesn't it?
they took Jeff and.
One of the things you can do with CF images, you can create images on the fly. One of the things you can do with images on the fly is you can pass information to them. There was a guy in the 50s named Alan Turing who was trying to come up with an idea about how could you fool a computer? What if computers started to think? All right, he wrote a paper on computers and thinking, and there was a test that he came up with, right, called a Turing test. That was a test to design to see whether or not you were a computer or a human. It's called a Turing test. All right. There's a short form of that test called a completely automated public Turing test.
Which are you?
I'm a combination of both. All right? Completely automated public Turing test to determine computers and humans. All right? It's called a CAPTCHA. You've seen it everywhere. It's what it's designed to do is designed to make sure that you're a human entering a form and not a computer entering a form. That's the reason it's called a CAPTCHA. It's named after the Turing test, which was created by Alan Turing. I'm using 8 lines of code here to create a CAPTCHA. I'm using 8 lines of code. I have one tag called a CF image, and I put some information in here, and I'm generating a string, and I'm creating a CAPTCHA. The result is a CAPTCHA. All right? Now here, I'm taking a string, and here I'm dropping it into an image. I'm creating an image on the fly with 8 lines of code, and I'm passing something into it. All I need to do is match these 2, and I've created a CAPTCHA. Really easy to do. All right? Not only is it easy to do, but it's easy to do things like change this from low to high, save it, refresh my page, and watch the complexity of the CAPTCHA. It becomes much more complex. It becomes harder for computers to discern the difference between the letters and the background noise. Right? So you have low, medium, and
That's why
high.
they make you
Some of
fill
them
out
are
those
almost
things when you
impossible
send
to
it.
read.
Some of them are very high. There's no very high option in
Some of
it.
them you
Right?
can hardly read
And we're
yourself.
both up there
That's
going,
right.
what is that?
Right, exactly.
Googles are the worst.
That's-
Facebook's so pretty bad.
that's one example.
Sending messages.
That's one example of a CAPTCHA. The other one is something called presentations. I said you can do dynamic presentations, okay? There's actually a CF presentation tag, all right? This is like 30 lines of code. That's all this is. This is 30 lines of code, right? I create a CF presentation, I name it, I give it a title, blah, 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 blah. I fill it in, I say how many slides I want, so on and so forth. I use one tag. The result is a presentation. All right. Now, I've got a bio here. All right. I've got different slides. I've got the introduction, which is a nicely formatted page, which, by the way, is actually, watch this. That's actually that page. I'm actually just pulling in an entire formatted web page into my presentation. Okay? Think about this for a second. This is a dynamic presentation created on the fly. If you want to see how on the fly it is, all right? And I'm going to make this Elena slide. And I'm going to insert this. And I'm going to say, hey, guess what? You've added a slide. Click here to view your presentation now. All right? All right? Now it's going to go back in, hit the database, and create a new slide on the fly with a new slide added dynamically from a database. That's it. I just added a slide by adding a slide to the database, and I created a whole standalone application. You notice the duration of this is 10 seconds because I said it was 10 seconds. The presenter of this slide is Yelena because I said she was the presenter of this slide. The presenter of these slides are me. This is a dynamically created graph, by the way, that's automatically created on the fly just from some data that we entered in. All right, that's not an image that I uploaded or did anything with. That's being generated on the fly, and I could change the values in the numbers and change the values in the pie. All right, here's some notes. And notice that it even has like an automated search feature. So if I want to do things like I want to search for the term projected, right? It tells me that it's right there on my sales slide. I didn't have to program a search. I didn't have to write that. Cold Fusion just automatically created a presentation. Right. And it creates them on the fly.
So then PowerPoint and Keynote's out the window?
This is a web presentation.
This is a web presentation, and I can make it full screen.
No matter where you go
Right.
in the world, you have it there. You just type in the URL and you're there to your presentation. You don't even need your own computer.
You can export your keynote as an HTML presentation also.
There you go.
Well, but we, do we have to do all of this through you, or is this something we're gonna have access to?
We can create a framework for being able to do this for you. I want to let everybody know, I did this example, I created this example this morning at 10 o'clock.
Wow.
I was done with this example by 10:20 and was checking it out and playing with it. All right? This particular example took me 20 minutes to write.
So you just write the code for it?
A little bit of code. A little bit of code. Dropped it in, pulled it from a database. Now, you could create a login framework that could protect this add page. You can have an edit page. You could point it to other files and upload those and create a whole back end that would allow you to add multiple pages to a slide or delete pages from a slide or
How
edit
would somebody
pages.
like-
We provide clients with a lot of data. Like right now, Jamie's working on some data for Fury Beach. It would be great if we could put that in a chart or something, rather than having to present it in, verbally like we always do.
Well, okay, but with my Curie Beach meeting next week, I won't have internet access.
Oh, well.
So, but, I mean, you're welcome to do a PowerPoint chart.
But that would be something,
We'll give
we'd
you
have to
paper.
give you the information, you'd have to create the code, so it would take time from you away from other projects for us unless we planned ahead.
Oh, right.
We could figure it out. But the point is that
Yeah,
it's
I think
built
it
right
is.
in. I mean, the point is that this is one of the features of Cold Fusion. So there's a lot of ideas exactly like you're thinking. I wanted you to walk out of here with ideas,
Right.
and I wanted you to realize that there's stuff that we can do with this, and there's potential in this
Okay.
product.
One potential for you guys is you could put all of your reports online every month.
Yeah, which would be great.
Which
Yeah,
instead
that
of
was what I was
mailing,
thinking.
instead of mailing them out, clients could go on, come to the website and look at your PR reports with charts, graphs, information.
Makes it a lot
Dude.
easier.
So much,